Honesty, a word so simple, yet so powerful. It is the foundation of trust, the key to integrity and the quiet strength that shapes our character. But in a world that often rewards deception, choosing truth can feel like an uphill battle. Perhaps you've faced moments where honesty seemed too costly, where a small lie felt easier than the weight of truth. We've all been there, but history, philosophy, and even our own experiences tell us something profound. Truth, no matter how difficult, always carries a deeper reward. For centuries, wisdom from across cultures has echoed this idea. Honesty is the best policy. But why? What makes truth so powerful? And what happens when we choose dishonesty instead? In this soothing journey, we will explore honesty not just as a moral virtue, but as a path to inner peace. Through timeless stories, psychological insights, and reflections on everyday life, we will uncover why honesty is more than a rule. It is a way of being. So sit back, relax, and allow yourself to sink into this reflection. Let the words flow over you like a gentle stream, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of truth. Now, let's begin. Honesty is a virtue that has been cherished since the earliest days of civilization. Across cultures and traditions, stories have been passed down, teaching us that truthfulness is not just a rule to follow, but a guiding light that shapes our destiny. One such tale comes from the timeless fables of Aesop, a simple yet profound story known as the honest woodcutter. There once lived a poor woodcutter who spent his days chopping wood near a river. He was a man of humble means, relying on his simple axe to earn his livelihood. One afternoon, as he worked beneath the towering trees, his hands, worn with labor, lost their grip. With a sudden slip, his axe fell from his grasp and plunged into the deep waters of the river. His heart sank. That axe was all he had. Without it, how would he work? How would he survive? Desperate and overwhelmed, the woodcutter knelt by the river's edge. Just then, something miraculous happened. From the shimmering waters, the god Hermes appeared, his radiant form casting a glow upon the rippling surface. In his hands, he held a gleaming golden axe. "Is this yours?" Hermes asked, his voice steady and kind. The woodcutter looked at the axe. So bright, so valuable. A single word could change his fate. He could claim it as his own, and no one would ever know. But deep in his heart, he knew the truth. He shook his head. "No," he said softly. "That is not my axe." Hermes nodded and reached into the water again. This time, he lifted a silver axe, polished and fine. "Perhaps this one belongs to you?" The woodcutter glanced at it, but again he sighed and spoke honestly. "No, that is not mine either." At last, Hermes reached down once more and pulled out a simple iron axe, the very one the woodcutter had lost. "Is this the one?" A smile of relief spread across the woodcutter's face. "Yes, that is mine," he exclaimed. Hermes, pleased with the man's honesty, did not just return his iron axe. Instead, he rewarded him with all three: the iron, the silver, and the gold. This simple tale holds a profound truth. Honesty may not always seem like the easiest choice. It may not always bring immediate rewards. But in the end, it builds a foundation of trust, integrity, and self-respect. Had the woodcutter chosen deception, he may have gained a golden axe for a moment, but he would have lost something far greater: his own honor. From ancient Greece to modern times, this lesson remains unchanged. The real value of honesty is not in what we gain, but in who we become. And yet, we live in a world where honesty is not always easy. Temptations arise, and the lure of deception often seems harmless. But what happens when we choose dishonesty? What are the true consequences of a lie? Let's explore that next. Honesty builds trust, but dishonesty erodes it. While truth stands firm like a strong oak, deception is like a fragile house of cards. Sooner or later, it collapses. To understand the price of dishonesty, let us turn to another well-known fable. one that serves as a cautionary tale for all who think lies can be without consequence. There was once a young shepherd boy who tended his flock on a quiet hillside. His days were long, and as time passed, he grew bored with his routine, craving excitement. He decided to play a trick on the villagers below. Rushing down the hill, he cried out in panic, "Wolf! A wolf is attacking my sheep!" The villagers, alarmed by his cries, dropped their work and hurried up the hill, ready to defend the boy and his flock. But when they arrived, they found no wolf, only the boy, laughing at their concern. The villagers, though annoyed, forgave him and returned to their daily tasks. Days passed, and again, the boy, seeking amusement, cried out once more, "Wolf! A wolf is attacking my sheep!" Again, the villagers ran to help. Again, they found no danger. And again, the boy laughed at their foolishness. But then one fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, a real wolf emerged from the forest. Its eyes glowed in the fading light, and its fangs gleamed as it crept toward the boy's flock. Terrified, the boy ran toward the village, shouting at the top of his lungs, "Wolf, please help me. There's really a wolf this time." But the villagers did not come. They had heard his cries before. They had been deceived too many times. And now, when he truly needed them, they no longer believed his words. That night, the boy lost his sheep, and with them, he lost something far greater, his credibility. This tale is more than just a children's story. It is a warning about the long-term effects of dishonesty. Lies may seem harmless at first, but they chip away at trust. And once trust is broken, it is not easily repaired. History, too, offers many examples of deception leading to downfall. Countless leaders, businesses, and even entire nations have crumbled because of dishonesty. Scandals, betrayals, and falsehoods often seem beneficial in the short term, but they eventually unravel, leaving behind nothing but regret. But why do people lie? What drives us to choose deception over truth? Psychology gives us some answers. Why do we lie? Sometimes it is fear. Fear of consequences, fear of judgment, fear of disappointing others. Other times, it is convenient. A small lie that smooths over an awkward moment or shields us from temporary discomfort. And sometimes it is a habit, something we do without even realizing it. But while dishonesty may provide an illusion of control, it often does more harm than good. Modern psychology has studied the effects of honesty and deception on the human mind, and the results are profound. The more we lie, the more stress we carry. The more we deceive, the more anxious we become. The mind is not built to maintain falsehoods. It struggles under their weight. A study conducted at the University of Notre Dame found that people who consciously reduced the number of lies they told, both major and minor, experienced significantly lower stress levels and improved mental health. Their relationships strengthened, their overall well-being improved, and most importantly, they felt lighter, as if a burden had been lifted. There is something deeply freeing about honesty. It requires no memory of past fabrications, no constant calculation of what has been said and to whom. Instead, it allows the mind to rest, to be at peace with itself. Beyond stress relief, honesty also strengthens our sense of self. When we tell the truth, we align with our values. We develop a deep inner confidence, knowing that we are living authentically. Consider this. When you tell a lie, even a small one, you are sending a message to yourself that the truth is not good enough. Over time, this erodes self-esteem. But when you choose honesty, when you embrace truth, even when it is difficult, you reinforce your own worth. You affirm to yourself that your reality, your choices, and your words hold value. And then there is trust. Trust is a foundation of every meaningful relationship, friendships, partnerships, families. It is built not in grand gestures, but in the small, everyday moments of honesty. When we speak truthfully, we create an unshakable bond with those around us. They know that our words carry weight, that they can rely on us. And in a world where trust is often fragile, this is a rare and precious gift. Honesty does not mean perfection. It does not mean we never make mistakes. It means we take responsibility for them. It means we live in alignment with reality rather than running from it. And in doing so, we unlock something priceless, peace of mind. If honesty is so valuable, if it brings peace, trust, and personal integrity, then why do so many struggle with it? The truth is, we live in a world that does not always make honesty easy. Society often rewards appearances over authenticity. We see it in workplaces where people feel pressure to exaggerate their achievements. We see it in relationships where individuals hide their true feelings to avoid conflict. And we see it in the digital world where curated images and selective truths shape the way we present ourselves. Honesty, in many ways, has become a challenge, not because it has lost its value, but because deception has become more convenient. One of the biggest obstacles to honesty is fear. Fear of disappointing others, fear of losing opportunities, fear of standing alone. Think about a time when you hesitated to tell the truth. Was it because the truth itself was unbearable? Or was it because you feared the consequences? Many people choose small lies, not out of malice, but as a form of self-preservation. A worker pretends to understand an assignment rather than admitting confusion. A friend hides their struggles rather than burdening others. A person suppresses their true thoughts rather than risking disagreement. But in avoiding discomfort, we create a deeper problem, a disconnect between who we are and who we present to the world. Another challenge in today's world is the blurred line between honesty and tact. Should we always tell the truth, no matter what? Is there ever a time when withholding information is a better choice? Some argue that honesty must be absolute, that truth should be spoken, regardless of the consequences. Others believe that kindness should take priority, that some truths, if spoken carelessly, can cause unnecessary harm. Perhaps the answer lies in intention. Honesty is not about using truth as a weapon. It is not about speaking without thought for others' feelings. Rather, it is about integrity, about ensuring that our words align with reality, while also respecting the impact they may have. Consider this. A doctor must tell a patient difficult news, but the way they deliver can make all the difference. A friend may need to give honest advice, but they can do so with empathy rather than bluntness. Honesty and kindness are not opposites. When practiced together, they create something powerful, truth that builds rather than destroys. But even when honesty is spoken with care, it still takes courage. Telling the truth often means standing apart from the crowd. It means choosing integrity over ease. And in a world where deception is often rewarded, this can feel like a lonely path. Yet, those who walk it find something irreplaceable, a life of authenticity, free from the burden of pretending to be someone they are not. So how do we embrace honesty in our daily lives? How do we develop the strength to choose truth, even when it is difficult? Let's explore that next. Honesty is not just a principle, it is a practice. It is something we cultivate one choice at a time until it becomes part of who we are. But how do we strengthen our commitment to truth? How do we make honesty a natural part of our lives, even in moments when deception feels easier? Here are a few guiding principles to help us walk the path of honesty with clarity and confidence. 1. Start by being honest with yourself. All honesty begins from within. If we are not truthful with ourselves, how can we be truthful with others? Take a moment to reflect. Are there areas in your life where you are avoiding the truth? Are there emotions you suppress, realities you ignore, or excuses you tell yourself? Self-deception is one of the most common, yet most harmful forms of dishonesty. It keeps us stuck in places we don't belong and prevents us from growing into who we are meant to be. But when we face the truth, when we acknowledge our fears, flaws, and aspirations honestly, we gain clarity. We begin to see ourselves as we truly are, and this self-awareness empowers us to make better choices. 2. Speak with honesty, but also with kindness. Many people hesitate to be honest because they fear hurting others. But honesty and kindness are not enemies. They are allies. When speaking the truth, consider both what you say and how you say it. Truth should never be used to wound, humiliate, or control. Instead, it should be spoken with care, respect, and the intention to uplift. For example, if a friend asks for your opinion on something sensitive, honesty does not require bluntness. Instead of saying, "That was terrible," you can say, "I think there's room for improvement, and I'd love to help you with it." Honesty, when combined with kindness, strengthens relationships rather than breaking them. 3. Hold yourself accountable. Living honestly requires commitment. It is easy to justify small lies, exaggerating a story, making excuses, avoiding difficult conversations. But small lies create habits, and those habits shape our character. One way to cultivate honesty is to pause before speaking and ask yourself, is what I'm about to say true? Is it necessary? Is it fair? These simple questions help us stay mindful of our words and ensure that we are speaking with integrity. Another way to hold ourselves accountable is by surrounding ourselves with people who value honesty. When we are in the company of those who speak truthfully, it encourages us to do the same. 4. Accept the discomfort that comes with honesty. Honesty is not always easy. Sometimes, telling the truth means admitting our mistakes. Sometimes, it means having difficult conversations. And sometimes, it means facing rejection. But discomfort is temporary. The peace that comes from living truthfully lasts far longer. When we lie, we create more complications, more things to remember, more stress, more distance between who we are and who we pretend to be. But when we embrace honesty, even when it is difficult, we clear the path for a life of authenticity and inner peace. 5. Recognize that honesty builds strength over time. Just as a muscle grows stronger with use, so does our ability to be honest. The more we practice truthfulness, the easier it becomes. At first, honesty may feel like a challenge. It may even feel risky, but over time, it transforms into a source of strength. It allows us to stand confidently in who we are, knowing that we have nothing to hide. Honesty does not mean perfection. It does not mean we never make mistakes. It means we own them when we do. It means we choose truth, even when deception is an easier path. And in doing so, we build a life of trust, self-respect, and deep inner peace. So as you go forward, consider this. What would happen if you chose honesty in all areas of your life? What burdens would be lifted? What relationships would be strengthened? How much lighter would you feel, knowing that your words and actions align with your deepest values? Now, let's bring everything together in our final thoughts. Honesty is more than just a moral principle. It is a way of living, a path that leads to clarity, trust, and inner peace. We have explored its importance, the consequences of deception, the psychological benefits of truthfulness, and the challenges that come with practicing honesty in the modern world. We have seen how honesty strengthens relationships, builds self-respect, and frees us from the burden of falsehoods. Yet, the journey toward honesty is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt. There will be times when deception feels tempting. But in those moments, remember this. The truth has a weight, but it is far lighter than the burden of a lie. Each day presents opportunities to practice honesty in our conversations, in our choices, and in the way we present ourselves to the world. It is not about perfection. It is about commitment, about choosing truth even when it is difficult, even when it requires courage. Imagine a life where you no longer feel the need to pretend, a life where your words are trusted, where your relationships are built on a foundation of truth, and where you can look in the mirror and know that you are living authentically. That life is possible, and it begins with a single choice, to be honest. As you move forward, I leave you with this thought. Honesty is not just about telling the truth. It is about living it.